3, maybe? Actually, 5. I'm in office 525E. Do you know what city we're in? Of course. Los Angeles. Yes, indeed. Next, Dr. Amos asks Rick to subtract 8 from 13, spell world backward, and recreate a shape on a pad of paper. Rick is asked to remember 3 words, light, watch, and pen, and recall them a few minutes later. Then it's time to stand up and walk in a line, like a side-of-the-road sobriety test, to check his balance. Lastly, Dr. Amos looks in Rick's clear, oceanic blue eyes to see how they move side to side. Rick endures the tests quietly and politely, cracking a joke here and there. The day of our gig, I wasn't only nervous for myself, but also anxious about whether Rick would be having a good day. I really needed Dr. Amos to see Rick's Freddy side, Rick's performer alter ego. I needed him to see how music flows in Rick's bloodstream, how it resides permanently in his muscle memory, how joyful and engaging he is when he's singing with his guitar, how music emerges in Rick from his soul instead of his brain. Dr. Amos needed to meet Freddy so he could understand who Rick is at his core. He needed to see what's at stake to lose. Rick and I had been practicing for weeks. We had a set list of 3 songs rearranged for our acoustic guitar duet: Andalusia, Midnight Motel, and True Blues, the songs I was most comfortable with. In the doctor's office's blandly decorated lobby, I set up a music stand that holds a lyric binder to help prompt Rick to remember what words come next. Rick's holding his Fender acoustic, and I've got my acoustic Taylor. I am jittery as hell. Doctors and nurses file in. They bring a chair for me to sit in. Rick prefers to stand. It's innate by now that when he's playing, he's moving. Dr. Amos and the rest of the staff take their phones out, pointing at us, ready to record. I feel a lump in my throat and wonder what kind of frog squeak is about to come out if I start to sing. "You ready, Boschke?" Rick asks me. "I have to pee like a banshee," I whisper in his ear. "Well, at least it's not diho," he jokes back. Our word for diarrhea. We've been together so long we have our own language. He turned to the audience. "You see," he says, "I had this crappy hand-me-down, practically broken television where I used to watch the Beatles play. One day when I was 17, back in 1967, I watched them sing a song about a girl named Andalusia. I thought, what a beautiful name. I should write a song about her, too." Now you might be thinking, wait, I don't know a Beatles song about a girl named Andalusia. Well, you're right. There isn't one. What I heard as Andalusia was actually I'm a Loser. But now there is a song about Andalusia, and it goes like this. When he counts down 1, 2, 3, 4, I know there is no going back. It is time to play. Rick and I were on fire, singing to the delighted and dancing faces of Dr. Amos's caring staff. On our last song, True Blues, he took it home. The song suits him. It's raucous. He only needed to glance at the lyrics on the music stand once. When we finished the set, our audience whooped and hollered. Dr. Amos pulled me aside and said, "I see what you mean about Rick. Your show was music to my ears. Get it?" A year prior, in 2014, we were in Dr. Amos's office getting the most shocking, worst news I'd ever heard in my life. I knew something was wrong when I booked the appointment, but I was too afraid to consider what. I'd been seeing Rick forget things he never would have before, like leaving burners flaming on the stove or forgetting where he'd parked his beloved Toyota Prius. I knew it was time to find out what was going on when he was supposed to deposit a bonus check I'd received at work, but accidentally left it at Stir Crazy, a coffee shop on Highland Avenue in Hollywood. Luckily, the guy who found it called me at work, and I got it back. But still, that never would have happened to my Mr. Control Freak before. Neurological testing wasn't easy on Rick. One particular test he underwent lasted 5 hours. Midway through the exam, a flushed and irate Rick bolted out the exam room door. I jumped up to follow him to see what had happened. "This is a fucking scam!" he shouted in the hall. "What the hell? Am I some kind of